All righty, just making sure everything's copacetic. Is the frequency in use? Okay, pretty sure it wasn't. Okay, we're just monitoring in here for some time. Good evening, this is K4PEW, net control for the Mount Juliet Simplex radio net. Is there any emergency or priority traffic? Yeah, same thing. If there is, just jump in here. Be call 911 first. 911. Be prepared to do that. That's what they're there for. We're here just to help out and hold your hand while you're waiting. The net may be broken at any time for emergency or priority traffic. For information on this net, see our website at 146415.net, or you can watch us on YouTube right now. Watch us, watch me. You can listen to the net, really. Not much fun in watching me. But it's on YouTube. You can look us up under my call sign, K4PEW, or the Brain Trusts, one word, BRAINTRUSTS. That's in the search block on YouTube. Or you can look us up on Yahoo Groups on MJ_SS, or you can look us up under groups.io, groups.India Oscar. And then just look it up for under MJSS, no underscore. MJSS, you'll find us on there. Everybody, 50-something, 57 of us have moved over there, but it's not permanent yet. I mean, it is permanent, but it's not, we're not using it except for announcements. But anyway, you can see us there, or you can, where else? In there, oh, that's all. No. Or you can write me an email, K4PEW@ARRL.net. That's what the net normally meets at 8 p.m. every Wednesday and Saturday night. And we're conducting the net, of course, on 146415, and this is net number 533, and we'll be starting from the east, in case anybody's listening. Just a couple of announcements. This coming Saturday is the breakfast. It is the breakfast at 8 a.m., and there's a net following in the evening. Wish you all knew about that. I've made it so the new calendar will send out automatic announcements for all of our events on the groups.io. So if you're not on groups.io, you're not going to get the announcements. So please move over there. If you have questions about how to get there or how to do it, let me know. Also, Thursday, tomorrow night, is the Wilson County Amateur Radio Information Net on 147.105. That's a plus offset and a PL of 156.7. Does anybody have any other announcements or needs fill on those two announcements? Okay. Big crowd out there tonight. See, there's 3 people online. Let's see, Kirby, Jeffrey, KD8RRO, and Mike Marshall, KM4YRF. That's 2 of them anyway. We have 2 that showed up in the comments section. The peanut gallery, as I used to call them, with the what do you call it? Show, Howdy Doody show. All righty. Again, taking check-ins from the east. Be sure to, if you're not already moved over to Groups.io, please do so now. Those of you that are listening tonight, I'll mention it again later. It's important because that's where we're going to be doing all our communications. It's got some nice features that I'm sure we'll like better because Yahoo sent me a very interesting email today. Sent everybody who has things on there that says it's the evolution of Yahoo, which I thought was kind of humorous because it's devolving, not evolving. And because all it's doing now is just sending out emails. It takes group emails, anything somebody sends them, and resends them to everybody in the group, which is just an email distribution system rather than having what we had, which is you could put pictures and files and calendar functions. And we never did have the calendar function, but they never gave it to us. They never did glitches or whatever. But they're taking all that away and just making an email distribution. Say, well, I can do that. I don't need them. But anyway, that's how that goes. So move over to Groups.io, groups.io. Look for the word Simplex or MJSS. Just MJ, Mike Juliet, and Sierra, and you'll find us. And again, 57 of us here. All right, we'll take tickets from the East End. Please come now.
WA4 is NHI.
Hey, James. Yeah, you already made the move over there, I saw you.
I tried looking at it, but I couldn't make any sense out of it.
You didn't make it in there?
No, I couldn't attach myself to it.
Well, I will have to send you another invite, and all you got to do is just respond to it, and it'll put you in there, and then it'll ask you to verify. It'll send you an email to verify that it's you.
An invite on what? Where?
To that group on groups.io.
Okay.
So that'll be easy. I just want to make a note there. Send you an invite again. Okay. Oh, all righty. Anything else you got good going for us? You got a lot going on?
Obviously, if it doesn't work out, bring the instructions to Courtney's on Saturday.
Yeah. Somebody bring a smartphone and we'll put you on that way. How's that sound? I think we could do it with some. I don't have a smartphone. That's why I said I got a dumb phone. All it does is make calls. All right. Maybe some brick phone. That's why I need one of them big. It's huge phones like you had 25 years ago. All right. Well, very good, James. Good to have you in there, and I will get that straightened out. Whiskey Alpha 4 Zulu Hotel India. We need to have everybody over there so the announcements go through smoothly, and so you can even avoid the announcements if you want to. All right, who else we got? And that's W Whiskey Alpha for Zulu Hotel India, right here in the heart of Mount Juliet. James. Who else? East, please come in. Hey, how you doing there, Eddie?
Doing fairly well. Had a good day. Nice temperature that side. But I think it's supposed to change tomorrow.
Yeah, I had an oddity. That warm weather prompted an odd occurrence for me. I've seen it before. When I got home this afternoon, and then I went out backyard to do something. Yeah, I went out to feed the birds, and I didn't know what it was at first, but there was a swarm, and I mean hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of ladybugs swarming around, landing on my head. I had to eventually take off my shirt and shake off all the ladybugs before I came inside.
They're all over the place.
Oh man, they were going crazy. I mean, they really were. In fact, I don't know if you ever had those on you, but sometimes they bite. You know, it isn't like it kills you or anything. I was crying just a little bit.
All right, well, thanks for doing that. I just want to see everybody Saturday morning.
Yeah, very good. Yeah, that was a nice test of your 5 watts from the car over there from where were you? South of the B, over near Franklin, Brentwood. That's where you were.
Yep, actually, over the boulevard right there at Brentwood exit, and it worked good.
Yeah, you should have brought your half a milliwatt there radio with you.
Well, I did try it on the extra low power. Remember the Kenwood THLC? I don't know what. It may be 100 milliwatt. I'm not sure.
No, it's even smaller than that. I forget, but it is. Well, it worked though. You just had some hash in there. That's all.
Yeah, it worked. It communicated. That's what matters.
Yeah, I know. Well, it just goes to show you that a decent antenna on a car, of course, it has to have the elevation. You know, where you are located. If you're sitting down in the valley, you're not going to get out. But worked real well on 5 watts off of. Was that a mag mount or was that your permanent mount?
It's just a front mount, 5X blade. I should have got out of the car and tried it on XD.
Well, yeah, you could have. It might have worked. You never know. All right, well, very good. That's Eddie, Whiskey 4 Echo Bravo X-ray. He is over in the Glade, east of 171 and south of 40. Who else east? Please come in.
Okay,
I was going to write you and Stan and apologize. Last time I said hold on, and I skipped right over you. I know. I felt bad about it. It didn't occur to me until the net was over. I said, "Hey, I didn't talk to Stan at all, except for telling him to hold on."
Yeah, I think radio.
Oh yeah, somebody told me that I was losing my strength, which I was, and went through a little procedure here, and it seems to have solved it.
Yeah, I wasn't sure what happened. I could barely hear you at times, but they're kind of gone.
Yeah, the 897 apparently has. I've never looked at. I had the rig open before, but I never looked in there. It's got some little electromechanical relays for when it switches I'm not even sure what it switches. I think partly you can hear it switching when you scroll through like memories and it goes uh, between HF and UHF VHF, those two separate areas. You'll hear a click in there of a relay. So I think it's that relay, and it gets either oxidized or has, just gets whatever, and it's cleaning. And they have a procedure where you turn on the rig and you hold two buttons down and hold your mouth right, and it goes through this clicking procedure of cleaning the relay. So apparently it worked.
Yeah, there were some Simplex models that used the relays. I think they were in the low pass filter section of the radio. Whenever you change bands, they would change the filtering, and they were noted for doing the same sort of thing, that either go bad or get oxidized. And usually you end up having to replace them.
Yeah, it's funny. I hadn't thought about that in years, but there were, you've probably seen them too. They used to have little relay cleaning tools that had a really fine, abrasiveness to them to clean relays. I'm sure you've seen those.
Yeah, they're called varnishing tools.
Those are the ones.
All right, well, I won't hold you up on that next. Okay, I'm worried.
All right, that's Stan. He's in just north of Lebanon. That's Kilo Mike 4 Hotel Quebec Echo. Who else east?
P4TWR.
Yeah, you're sounding pretty decent, but a little bit of flutter in there. West.
Oh, yeah, I'm mobile right now. Eastbound towards Watertown.
Yeah, I was going to say you had to be mobile because normally when you're home, I don't hear a flutter.
Yeah, no. All right. Proceed. P4TWR.
Very good. That's Wes. He's mobile, headed toward, he's mobiling towards home down there near Watertown. And that's Kilo Echo 4 Tango Whiskey India, and he's east of here. So he's got a little bit of problem. Well, a little problem, at least because of being mobile. Who else east? Please come in.
I'll jump in. KK4 UTS.
Hey, how you doing there, Carl?
Hey, doing too bad. So, enjoying the conversation. We had a bunch of things going on. Drama. The kids do drama on, whenever Mama tells them to. Saturday and I think Friday night we were busy. But I was kind of thinking, though, if you guys, a bit of trivia, know that the Channel 5, I call it, Jimi Hendrix and P-Hall, and right now what we see is Channel 5, all of that occurred right there in that same studio.
Oh, is that right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So Jimi Hendrix, he went down to, he cut his teeth. I think he came out of the Navy or Army or somewhere and cut his teeth on Jefferson Street before they put the bridges in. But they all did shows down there at at that same facility and by the way, when I was a kid, which was probably yesterday or the day before, he was one of my favorites,
Hee-haw could be pretty fun.
I love it. Man, if love was living in despair, and I can't go into it. So, KK4 UTS, I forgot to give my call, but I will not get long-winded tonight. But this is really cool. I really love everybody on here. I thought I heard Earl, but there was another gentleman on there a minute ago.
Oh yeah, that was probably Stan, maybe. But no, he should be here later, hopefully. By the way, yeah, a lot of musicians made their way into Nashville for the recording studios and for the session work with so many good, musicians here. So I'd say that music makes strange bedfellows, and Weinstein makes even worse bedfellows.
You took your whole week to come up with that one. So that whole, what did I say? What did I say? If lamb by one, if sheep by two, or whatever it was. But that's a good one. That's a good one, Paul. So, but you know what? Yeah. So the Kwanzaa hut, I've been studying up on this too. It's really fascinating. I think there's a resurgence. And I like pretty much all music while listening to anything. Opera sometimes, when they start tapping the vocal cords, they kind of okay, all right. But country is R&B in the key.
Oh yeah, no. In fact, that's kind of rotated, smoothed right through R&B to get to country, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. Yeah, it did. So, but the Kwanzaa hut thing. So I'm just anyway. I'm getting all along with it. KK4 UTS. Y'all have a good time. I'll be here on standby.
Very good, Carl. We'll talk to you a little later. That was Carl Kilo 4 Uniform Tango Sierra He's also over in Gladeville. Who else we got east? Moving up to the north and north of Mount Juliet, north of Lebanon Road.
WE40.
Hey, Danny, how you doing?
Oh, none the worse for wear, Paul. How's everything with you?
Aside from being attacked by all them those lady bugs, no problem.
Well, that's what you were saying a little while ago about being overrun by ladybugs. Don't seem to have them over here. That must be a Wilson County thing.
Yeah, it probably is. No, they were just swarming. Then a little later in the afternoon, they were gone. And they were, in fact, I looked as I came back in the house, they were not covering, but hundreds of them on the eaves and on part of the windows and the walls, and they were flying all over me and biting my neck. And like I said, I had to go back outside and shake off my shirt.
Good grief. Yeah, I can imagine that was an odd thing. My grandmother would go out of her way to make sure to protect the ladybug. She felt they were good luck. One would turn up on her apron or something, and instead of just flicking it across the room, she'd actually walk it to the back door and go out and sort of gently shake the apron until it would fly off.
You didn't bother telling her that she was sacrificing it to the birds, did you?
No. My grandfather took care of that. Funniest thing, they lived sort of out in rural Pennsylvania, and there were chickadees used to land on the clothesline out back. And one morning, for some unheard of reason, Grandpa went out there and opened the door, and there was a bunch of chickadees, and he pulled up his little .22 rifle and shot one of them. And of course, the rest of them scattered. From that point forward, anytime anybody went out that back door, the birds would all scatter. So no, it was probably safe.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah, my wife wouldn't let me do that because she will actually take ladybugs, dirt bugs, moths. I think even roaches. I don't think we've ever had it. Or even if we had some, I wouldn't tell her. But she'd take them outside and let them go. She goes, "Is it warm enough outside for these dirt bugs? The stink bug?" I said, "Yeah, don't worry about it. The birds will eat them."
Yeah, exactly. You don't have to worry about that. So yeah, sometimes bugs are our friend. I mean, I'm overrun with spiders. They're everywhere over here. I periodically have to go out with a big brush and brush the house down because they have just overrun the place.
Yeah, I had a bug guy salesman come by a couple of years ago, come by the front porch, and that was his pitch was, "I can get rid of spiders for you." I said, "No, I'm good."
Yeah, exactly.
All right, well, very good. Everything going well for you?
Yeah, can't complain. Can't beat the weather, although I guess it's going to change the next day or so. It's going to be cold Friday, but yeah, not too bad. It's been a pretty low key week. Hasn't been a whole lot going on. A lot of stuff happening up at the home office. It's kept them busy, and it's kept my phone from ringing. So overall, can't complain, Paul. Doing all right over here.
Yeah, I know. I work for a couple of three multinational corporations. And it can be a real joyride.
Yeah, exactly. Well, the company I work for now, it has its roots in a very small company. It's changed hands a half dozen times. It's owned by a venture capital company, and as long as they make their numbers, they kind of leave the management alone. They subscribe to the idea that if you buy a company, you buy into its product, you buy into its management, you buy into what it is at the time. You don't buy something that's not successful. If you're buying unsuccessful companies, you have other plans. As long as they make their numbers, they're in good shape. So, and they're on a multi-year trajectory to assert a presence in a certain market, and they're doing pretty well at that. But down deep, it's still a small company that was started up in northeastern Pennsylvania. Even though we've got 3,500 or 4,000 employees worldwide, it's still a really, really small company down in it. It's a bit of a blessing and a curse.
Oh yeah. Well, what you said earlier was I always remind people, because I had to remind myself that in the past, I said every company, people are holding on to the company, and I'll tell you, we're in here for the long haul until somebody makes them an offer they can't refuse.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely. I mean, and I guess it only makes sense in that regard. If somebody comes along and offers you more money for your company than you can hope to earn running it in your lifetime, it's something you have to sit down and study. It depends on kind of on what the big picture is. What the goal.
Oh yeah, I'm familiar with that issue. And we were one company I was working for. We got purchased by a foreign firm, and he was in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, and he was in Chinese origin, but that's where he lived. It was where his citizenship was in Malaysia. And I thought to myself, I would have never pictured myself in this position before. Oh, no, working for Southeast Asia Corporation.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I can understand how that would be a little bit odd, a little different from my previous situation, which was has been a big global corporation for many years, and it's a corporation, part of a corporation, it's part of a larger corporation, one of those kind of deals. The company I work for now, kind of not so much. It's still a mom and pop in a lot of ways. A couple of the principals that actually started the company are still around. A couple of them have retired. A couple of them have passed on, and whatever, but it's still, and a lot of the people that work there all came from the industry and either grew up within the organization or got assimilated, kind of much the same way I did, so it's even strange that, there's people I have been working with since January that I've known for 20 or 25 years.
Yep, I got you. The business and corporations, like the weather, just changes over time, and sometimes for the better, sometimes for the worse. Well, very good. That was Danny, Whiskey Echo 4 Echo, and he's in Hendersonville. Great signal. I'm glad things are going well for you. Who else we got north?
K4WK.
Hey, that's way far north. How you doing there, Steve?
Pretty good, Paul. How are you?
Doing good. How'd the net go Tuesday night?
Let's see. We had 6, I think.
Yeah, that's good. Like I said, we reach into a much deeper pocket here in Middle Tennessee.
Yeah, I had 11 before that.
Oh, well, see, there you go. See, that's the thing. Not everybody can or will show up every week.
Like you said, they have 2 opportunities, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, plus we have 2 opportunities a month to miss a breakfast.
Well, that's true. Hey, it looks like I got a pretty good signal coming in so far.
I wasn't looking at it, but yeah, we'll see it on the next go around. No, yours usually looks pretty decent, but sometimes it's bad.
Looks like it's well over a 5.
Yeah, it's jumping up there to 5. You're right. That's not too shabby from a little north of Bowling Green, so that's pretty. You're using the beam, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, sounds good. Everything going well for the club up there in Kentucky?
Yeah, everything's great. And when I was trying to get a hold of you last week, of course, we had the rainstorms, and I had the HT with a 3 dB antenna is the only time I got to talk to you.
I got you. Well, very good. It was good to have you in there, Steve. I'm glad things are going okay. Steve, of course, it's K4WKU with Kilo 4 Whiskey Kilo uniform, and he does the Simplex net up there in southern Kentucky. And of course, those of us that can check in when we can. He's got a good group started up there, and they're having a lot of fun. And just point toward Bowling Green, and he's on 146-430 on Tuesdays and Thursdays. All right, who else out north we got? KN4YQR. How are you doing today? You're up there in that Castellian Springs, is it?
No, I think Gallatin.
Well, I was kind of close. How you doing tonight?
Pretty good.
Anything good going on in your neck of the woods?
Not particularly. It started raining.
Oh, really? I guess I didn't realize it was going to rain. I mean, is it supposed to rain all tonight? Is that the deal?
I believe so. Into tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, it just means I'm going to have to mow the lawn again.
That's over, thank God.
Well, very good. This is Keith, right? Did I get the name right?
Yeah, Keith.
Yeah, very good, Keith. Well, good to have you in there. I'm glad you can make the trip. I'll move on. We have a good time. That's Keith in Gallatin. That's Kilo November 4, Yankee, Quebec, Romeo. And who else have we got north? Move over to the west then. The west of Mount Juliet, west of Wilson County.
Kilo 4, Whiskey United.
Hey, Bill, I was just, well, I'd say I was thinking of you, but it sounds kind of weird. I was looking at your call the other day. How's that sound? I was wondering if you had made it to the list, and I believe you did.
Yeah, I think so. I think I'm on there.
Oh, no, I'm not looking at it right now. I was trying to make sure everybody, because some of them didn't even respond, that I sent the message to all the people on the list, and some of them didn't. And so some of them's email address was defunct, and some others may just not want to come back to them. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it's going to their spam folder. I don't know. I'll find out sooner or later.
Yeah, I mean, I went ahead and signed on to it, but I haven't checked it since then. So, I haven't. I saw, I think, a welcome letter from you or email from you on there.
Yeah, no, it's just yeah, you get a confirmation email, correct?
Roger.
Yeah, that was the deal. And you're in there. I just the only thing that's gone out so far is I started doing the announcements for tonight's net went out to everybody, and then I go out for all the other nets as well as the breakfasts and the other activities, just the routine stuff. That was what's nice having that calendar function back having it. Period. That way I don't have to remember to send out any announcements. Of course, then I'll forget to show up for the net. That's the problem.
Well, it's definitely a great service you're doing there. It keeps us informed in the area and of all the activities and all that's going on. It's fabulous. Great job there, Paul.
Yeah, very good. No, I just well, if, like anything, if you're going to do it, you might as well support the other people's activities in the general vicinity who are working alongside you, even though it's on a different kind of a path. Like the Wilson Club or Steve's Club up in his group up there in Simplex up in Kentucky. It's a little farther away, but it's a common interest.
Roger that. Well, okay, I'll let you get back to the net. I'm westbound here. Excuse me, I'm eastbound on 40, just passing Stewart's Ferry. We had an event downtown today for work, so mobiling back eastbound.
Very good. That was Bill, eastbound, mobile, Kilo 4 Whiskey uniform. Who else we got? West. That's where we are. West. Who's coming on?
KB9RKK mobile.
Another mobile. How you doing, Frank?
Doing good. Just got to Donaldson. I was at the same place as he was at, as Bill was at. I'm on 70, just Hermitage, Lebanon Pike.
Yeah, 70 is a good place west, unless you're down in one of them holes.
Coming in good in Midtown, by the way. We were up at 17 in Church Street, and you were giving me about S8 on my mobile.
Yeah, I think conditions are very good tonight. I normally, am I on here? I can't even see my. I'm not getting out very good at the moment, am I?
Power is gone. W9BOQ.
Yeah, so I noticed it's back now. It just took you to cure it, man. You're the man.
I am.
All right, now we're back. I don't know. It might be my switch. No, it can't be because I think it was trying to transmit. Maybe not. Well, we'll have to keep an eye on that. I'll just keep it transmitting continuously. How's that? Anyway, Frank, good to have you in there. There was Frank, Kilo Bravo 9, Romeo, Kilo. And he's on the way back from somewhere downtown, coming on 70, coming this way. Good to have you in there, Frank. Who else? West, please come on.
K4IDC mobile.
Hey, Rob, I got to keep looking over at that screen to see that I'm transmitting. Did you get those towers put in and without my help?
Let's see. I removed the storm lumber, and I welded the base plate on the post for the one tower. And short answer, no. Long answer, I'm still working on it.
No, I saw you did that steel work. The welding and stuff. It's great. But you will need help on the tower erection, I take it.
Yeah, probably so.
Very good. I understand that Dennis is available.
Yeah, fully qualified.
Yeah, he knows how to get there, and that's for sure.
Yep.
All right. Well, very good. That's Robin. You're mobile too, huh? Where are you tonight?
I'm on Central Pike. I passed by the Cliff Grove UMC just a few minutes ago.
All righty, good old Central Pike, the most dangerous road in near Mount Juliet, I think.
It's like a small child's roller coaster.
Oh, it's horrible. It's horrible. I would not recommend riding a bike, although I have seen people riding bikes on that road going east from Mount Juliet.
It wouldn't be my first choice.
No, it wouldn't be my choice at all. I have enough trouble with cars and, Mount Juliet Road. You know that. Anyway, that's Robin, also mobile. Kilo 4 India Delta Charlie. Good to have you in there. He's in the process of putting up 3 towers on his property, which should make everybody envious. Anybody else, West, please come in.
KK4 UTW, jumping in on the Central Pike thing.
UTW, did you change your call?
Okay, whatever. So check this out. There is the east side and the west side of which one you guys think is most dangerous?
Well, I've not done much on the west side, but east of Mount Juliet is horrible.
And the west is no better.
I'd have to go out there and look myself because I don't know that I've been on Central Pike West, or if I have, I don't remember.
It's a beautiful ride, but I'm scared. I'm scared. Anyway, I get scared driving it. I have to drive down that road every day. So anyway, I'm out. KK4 UTS.
Yeah, you changed your call on me with the UTW. Did you forget it already?
I did. I'm having too much fun.
All right, very good. Who else we got? West, please come down.
At least it's not UTI.
Yeah, that's right. We don't need any UTI. Who else? West, please come down.
KN4 TJL.
Hey, Rick, how you doing?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm doing fine. You all settled in with your new prescription regimen?
That's correct.
Did you have to get used to any of it?
No.
So you didn't even really notice the difference other than it kind of stabilized what was going on?
That's true. Yeah, there's not much difference.
Good, good. Yeah, they changed the only prescription I take, they changed it. And it's because I don't like taking any prescriptions for that one. But anyway, everything going well for you?
Yes, sir. Thanks for asking. Yeah, I am feeling better. They gave me a beta blocker, which actually helps the pain in my shoulders quite a bit. So I'm in pretty good shape.
And your daughter and her new husband's getting along well?
So far, so good. I haven't heard any reports otherwise. But if I do, you'll be the first to know.
I don't know. You'll be the first to know. And yeah, it's not going to be. No, I hope everything goes well. How long did those two know each other?
Apparently, several years back in school, I'd say.
Ah, okay, very good. So they know each other's how weird each of them are.
Yeah, and I'd say that's correct. Well, they seem to go on really well, so maybe they don't.
No, I'm glad this sounds good. Of course, I married the girl I went to high school with, and that wasn't a good idea.
You don't think?
Well, in my case, it wasn't. I can't speak for everybody. Another one of my friends, a couple of my friends from high school married high school sweethearts, and they're still married 52 years later.
Well, yeah, goes to show you never know. You know what I mean? I guess you just take a shot.
Well, if you keep your gun in your holster, generally that's a good way to avoid a divorce.
True enough.
All right, very good. That's Rick. He's over in Ashland City, and that's Kilo November 4 Tango Juliet Foxtrot. Who else we got? West.
KM4 YRF.
Hey, here's a guy who's divorced and he's still doing work for his separated family.
As she read the sign that says "We'll work for food."
Yeah, I'll bet. Everything going well for you at work?
Yeah, I had a last 2 days have been pretty busy, but real good day.
Well, busy's better than the alternative, but I can't imagine what you guys do for a living is going to get slow anytime soon.
Well, actually, it's slowed down a good little bit, but we have spurts where a lot of apartment complexes are doing rehabs and stuff, and they got to have lots of stuff for that.
Well, yeah, I'm suggesting to you that some of the stuff that you guys do for a lot of it is almost immune from not depressions, but recessions.
Yeah, we do a lot of janitorial, and normally whenever air
that kind of a business is, like I said, it's a good one. Well, very good, Michael. Let's see, you got your new antenna up. Do you have any other projects working on your antenna?
Yeah, I'm gonna try to get an HF antenna up this weekend. I've been planning that for several weeks now. It just hasn't happened. And meant to do it last weekend, and my daughter had a wreck, and that kind of put a kink in the works. But I'm gonna give it a good shot for this weekend.
Is Rick going to come over and help you?
He volunteered.
That doesn't mean he's going to show up.
He's going to show up for the breakfast. So he'll be close.
All right, sounds good. Very good. That was Michael, Kilo Mike 4 Yankee, Romeo Foxtrot. He's in Belshire. Who else, Wes?
K4OEN. Hello, Paul. How are you?
I'm doing just fine. I'm still trying to put aside every time I feed the dogs, I got a dog missing, you know?
Yeah, I'm so sorry to hear about Shook. We liked your reports every week on the net to see how she was coming along and how she was getting all in shape, and you all took really good care of her, and it makes us sad to know that she's gone. We've been thinking about you and your wife this week.
Yeah, appreciate it. Yeah, that was a pity because we were looking forward, like I said, to a few good years because she was already 13, but she was just the sweetest thing. She would, one of the cutest things she would do. She couldn't jump anyway because she's a short dog, but she liked to sleep on top of that footstool or whatever it's called, and which was even with the sofa. And she would come over, and if I wasn't paying any attention, she'd just break out in a single bark to get my attention. She was standing there looking at me. She knew the drill. I'd reach down and pick her up and put her up on the thing there. And then she was happy. She'd go to sleep.
That's awesome. She sounds like such a sweetheart. So sorry she got sick. So was it over just a couple of days that she was sick?
Oh, yeah. It was in a matter of just, all of a sudden she stopped eating and wouldn't take anything. It was just weird. And, well, she ate little, let me put it that, and then she stopped after a day or two. And then she was starting to get sick, by vomiting and stuff. And it's kind of like classic kidney failure in the dog, I guess. And when I took her to the vet the second time, because we thought it was a digestive issue, and he said, "Yeah, we did a test. It was an expensive test too, so she was an expensive little gift in her last days." But no, he said definitely kidney failure. And not much they can do for an old dog, or can't they do for much for any dog? There's no dialysis for dogs that I'm aware of.
Well, you all made her last days very happy, and I'm sure you spoiled her, and she was right. But I know she was your little princess, and you're going to miss her, and we'll continue thinking about you guys.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I'd come back into the living room, and my wife would be sitting in the chair, and I'd see she'd have picked up Sugar, and she could be sleeping on her lap, just laid over on her leg, just sleeping like a baby.
I love that. Dad just wants to get him on it, but at 80 pounds, it's a little difficult. So she has to lay pretty much on the couch and put her head in my lap. But if she thinks she's a lapdog some days.
Oh yeah, no, dogs are amazing how they're the only, well, there's other animals that do, but they're the ones that give unconditional love, and it really is unconditional. They don't care if you got bad breath, they don't care if you got BO, they don't care if you're dirty, they don't care if your hair's clean, they don't care about anything except just come here, let me lay on you.
That's right, unconditional. Well, you all take care, Paul. It's good to hear from you. I'm going to pass the mic over to Marty and let you guys say hello for a minute, and we'll catch you hopefully on Saturday. Take care.
Yeah, that'd be great, Mary.
84 BQK.
Hello, Marty. You doing okay?
Yeah, I had some allergies. Oh, it was like that. I hadn't been. Anyway, excuse me.
Yeah, allergies stink. You must have caught them from Mary. She had allergies last time we talked, or some kind of a, disorder with the sinuses.
Well, Mary ended up bronchitis.
Okay, so it wasn't really necessarily allergies. Yeah, bronchitis can be horrible. And allergies can be horrible too, as you probably found out. Well, very good. That was Mary and Marty. Marty being the recent one there. It's KD4BQK, and then Mary Kilo Delta 4 Oscar Echo November, and they're both in Belshire. Who else is West?
Whiskey 4 Alpha Whiskey Echo.
Hey, John. I'm hoping you're done with all your projects, but I know you're not.
I'm sort of in the middle of it, but I'm still sort of on my schedule of trying to get most of this wrapped up by Thanksgiving or thereabouts. I just walked in here. Did you lose a dog?
Oh, yeah, the dog we had taken in back in August. She was 13, and then her owner had died, so we took her in through this woman who takes in old dogs, and she has like 15 or 17 of them. And I guess they were looking for another home for this one. We picked her up and had her for a couple of months, and she developed kidney failure, and that was the end of that.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. I mean, I've never really cared for the word pet. It often seemed rather demeaning to me because a good dog or a cat or more than one can be, they're a family. And boy, with the unconditional love they give, quite honestly, they're nicer than most relatives.
Yeah, and plus they always make me laugh. They give me a lot of. I think they give everybody joy who loves pets, but I mean, it's so funny to me how they're responsive to us, the owners, and how protective they are, and how I actually turn into nothing once treats come out that my wife has.
Yeah, my last cat, who I had for a little over 20 years, I used to call her the resident psychiatrist and studio manager, and they just give out really good vibes.
Oh yeah, no, animals are. I think I saw somebody had a survey. I don't know if it's true or not, but it said people who have pets tend to live longer. And if it is, it's because they just give you joy and they reduce stress. You can't say it's hard to be mad at the world when you got a dog that's loving your shit and looking at you.
Yeah, there have been a lot of studies that have proven that to really be a fact. Well, it's good to talk to you. I'm sorry to hear about you losing a really good family member like that.
Oh yeah, we appreciate that. Very good, John. That's John Whiskey 4 Alpha Whiskey Echo, and he's over in Bellevue. Who else? West, please come.
KN4OXN.
Very good. How are you doing tonight? That's KN4OXN. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, just making sure you're talking to me. Yeah, doing good. I think this is the first time I've checked into the net in a while, and since my house, I moved houses, and I'm getting a lot of people on the east side of you, so I'm pretty excited.
Oh, that is good. So, what are you using in the house now for an antenna?
So nothing right now. I'm talking to you right now on my Bofang, which is transmitting out to my mobile rig, my Kenwood, and the truck, which is doing crossband repeat and view.
Oh, great. And that's that TMV71A, which is a nice machine.
Yes, sir. You got it. I'm a big fan.
Oh, yeah. No, it's a great machine. I bought that little recording module. You know what I'm talking about?
No, I don't.
Look in the catalog, and there's another module you slide in there. Take the case off, obviously. And you can record. In other words, you can not be here, and you can hear who's tried to call you. I've never even used it, though. I paid $100. I forget how much it was, but I've never even used it.
I doubt anybody's trying to call me, but that's good to know. I'll have to look into that.
No, it's just one of those things. One of those things I seem to have at the moment, and I've never used it.
Oh yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Well, very good, David. So you normally talk to me through the vehicle. So this is the first time you had it in the. Well, you don't have the unit in the house yet, you see.
Right, no unit in the house. And I've checked into the net before, but it's been a few months, and I've bought a house since then. So I moved a little bit, but we're at a much higher elevation at the new place. So it's very promising for an antenna install.
Yeah, you're doing fine because you're like between 10 and 20 over, so you're doing great.
Excellent, glad to hear it.
Well, very good. That was David. Kilo November 4 Oscar X-ray November, and he is he's in Nashville. Yeah, I think it's still East Nashville, right?
Yeah, that works. I'm not quite in East Nashville, but on the eastern side, where like 24 and 40 meet. is the best way to describe it.
Oh, I got you. Yeah, very good. All right, very good. Again, David, Kilo November 4, Oscar, X-Ray November, in between Nashville and East Nashville. Who else we got? West, please. Going to the south then. Hey, Michael. Yeah, you made it over to the thing, and I didn't know if you wanted to grab that co-moderator thing or not. You still there?
Oh, were you talking to me or someone else?
No, I'm sorry, Mike. I was talking to you. Maybe I should have said so. No, I was going to say you were a moderator on the other site. I just wanted to continue that.
Yeah, that's good. I haven't looked into it. I had mentioned that to Dale when I signed up. If you need help, I'll be glad to.
All righty, sounds good. So you at home tonight?
Yeah, I'm fixing to call it an evening and jump in the hot tub for a little bit, so I won't stay on the radio long.
All right. Well, very good. Well, good to have you in there. I wouldn't want to hold you up from the comforts of a nice warm hot tub. All right. Very good. That was Michael. November 1, Mike Delta Juliet. He's over east of Mount Juliet, a little bit south of 40. Who else south, please?
Kilo Mike 4, November Yankee Bill.
Hey, Bill. Sounded good on the net last night over there in Rutherford.
Oh, that's good. I mean, I got all this expensive equipment, that's what makes the difference. I got about $30 wrapped up with my stuff.
Yeah, that's what's funny. It does not take much to get on the air. It really does. I mean, people, they get all upset about the expense of ham radio, but truthfully, you can get on the air fairly cheaply.
The biggest cost was my coax, really.
Good coax is ridiculous. The good stuff is, you'll spend like $1 a foot and you go, oh my gosh, I think I'm just going to put the radio really close to the antenna.
I think it was about $1.05 or $1.10 when I bought mine.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It gets pretty pricey. That's why when people buy that, what they call hardline, it goes for, I think, at least 50% more than that. So it's pretty pricey.
I'm well pleased with what I got. I just like to get more. That's all. I don't know what day that'll ever be.
Well, there's a difference between, as because you haven't bought it yet, between wants and needs. And until, something comes up really cheap, you're right. I'm kind of the same way. I can't justify buying more equipment at the moment. Well, very good. That was Bill. Kilo Mike 4, November Yankee. He is in Murfreesboro with great signal. Who else we got south?
Whiskey 4, Delta Mike, Kilo India 4, November, Delta November.
Hold on, David. I had a Whiskey 4, Delta Mike something.
Whiskey 4, Delta Mike Lima.
Hey, how you doing there? You doing well?
Yeah, doing great. This is back in Cool Springs, part of Franklin, Tennessee, and doing good. Just got in. Thought I might have missed the net tonight, but here I am.
Now, a couple of nets ago, we went for an hour and a half. It was a little longer than I anticipated, but there was a lot of people and a lot of talking going on. So, yeah, it's hard to miss the net when it goes on for almost. I don't think we've had but a couple nets in the last 4 years, 3 years maybe, that have been shorter than an hour.
Well, I thought I was going to be late. I just got back, but evidently I was not. But you're sounding like normal. You still sound like a repeater coming into the Cool Springs area.
In the world of Simplex, being called a repeater could be considered an insult.
Well, I apologize if I insulted you, but anyway, you're as strong as the repeater, or stronger.
No, I hear you. I'm not insulted. I just thought it was funny. No, you're right, though. I mean, when I hear the big repeaters, I go, man, what a signal, And it's hard to beat them, because they're full scale all the time.
That is true, but I'm still running the 5-element Yankee, hopefully pointing your direction.
Oh, yeah, you're a good strong signal here. It sounds like you're just next door to me, pointing right at me. How are things going with the club down there and working towards that Simplex goal?
Well, all I know is our new leader for the first year still wants to do more with Simplex, and he takes over in January. So we'll find out. I've mentioned to other folks that I know there's others in our group that have checked in, but how great it is to have such a good signal on Simplex for a change.
Oh yeah, it is. It's really, and I think one of the beauties for a club having Simplex is that it doesn't cost them anything because it's everybody else's equipment that we're operating.
That is true. I've still got a vertical, and I don't even know what the vertical is. I need to put up and give it a whirl, see how well it works. But with this antenna I've got now, it's kind of hard to make the change. But the vertical would be nice for the omnidirectional aspect of it without having to rotate it.
Well, it'd be nice if you could run another feed line and just use a switch, wouldn't it?
It would. I got too many feed lines and too many antennas and switches now in a HOA restricted area, but I may give that a whirl.
I had an old family friend up in Washington, D.C., and he was a very active ham. And his wife would complain to no avail because the basement was full of ham equipment. And she complained, so to speak. They're both passed away now, but she used to complain that he'd come home from her funeral and he'd go right down to the basement and work his gear. What I was going to say was he had 17 antennas on his home.
That's quite a antenna farm there. I know some of the European stations you look and see what they've got, and they must have 17 antennas, but none of the folks I know around here are quite that endowed with antennas.
No, but good to have you in there, Doug. And if you need any help or just getting people, in fact, if you just tell your club members to listen to our net and say, hey, there's a lot of people over there that have great signals, not just me. And that's kind of the goal, is to get everybody more up to speed with Simplex, and that helps everybody. You know?
I'll do it, Paul, and I'll try to. I'm going to keep working at it. And I was telling you, our new guy Ed, I just wanted to do more with Simplex, and it makes a lot of sense for an Aries group because when the power's down, the repeaters are down. So if you do Simplex, it's a great emergency communications.
Oh, absolutely. It should be. Again, you'd think that we've talked about this. You'd think that would be obvious, but every Aries net I've ever heard, they started on a repeater. I mean, some of them do Simplex. Don't get me wrong, but there's just a lot. And I would think, well, wait a minute, you really want to generate the Simplex stuff just to get everybody off of that J-pole in the attic mentality, you know.
Well, I totally agree, but hopefully we'll do a better job of that in the future.
Oh, that'd be great. Glad to hear it. Well, that was Doug. He's over in Cool Springs, Whiskey 4 Delta Mike Lima. And he works with the Williamson Club over there. So it sounds like they're looking forward to more Simplex in their world as well. Who else we got south? Anybody else south?
Kilo India 4, November Delta November.
Hey, there you go. I almost forgot about you, David, but I can't do that. How many did you end up on the net last night?
What do you mean? How did I end up?
No. How many people were on the net?
Okay, I believe it was just 12, Paul, but that's a pretty good number for us.
No, that's a great number for you guys. Are you kidding? Because you figure, like I told you, there are actually, Rutherford is a relatively smaller county than Wilson, or, in population, the hams. There are Davidson or Williamson County, but it has more hams per capita than any of those counties. So, but getting 12, you consider we have a good night at 24, so you get half the number we do with probably 1/4 the number of hams available.
Okay, last time I looked, I believe there was maybe 400 or more hams in Rutherford County.
Oh yeah, no, I know there are, but you look at the number of hams that are in Davidson or Wilson, and it's a lot more than 400.
Oh, okay, I got you. And you ignoring me again, aren't you?
No, I don't think so. No, I was on the net last night.
Oh, I'm kidding. I'm just kidding.
No, I had to. Me and my wife had to run an errand over to wherever I was, south side of Nashville, and she says, "Well, you're not going to be back in time for that net." I said, "Well, whatever." So raced back and got in on the tail end of it.
Oh, I got you. Well, hey, it's good to hear you come in there. That's for sure. And I won't hold you up, Mr. Paul, but I appreciate you coming in there and appreciate what you're doing here. Everyone have a good evening. 73 KI4NDN.
Yeah, very good. That was David. He's in Reedyville, Kilo India 4, November Delta November. Great signal, by the way. Who else, Sal?
Kilo Echo 4 Sierra Yankee Victor.
Almost seems like you're bringing up the rear, Larry.
Yeah, I want to make sure you got David.
Oh, we got David. All right. You're in. Is Rockville? That's in where? Which county is it in?
Rutherford County, the southwest corner.
Oh, that's right. You're down there, kind of in the corner. I was trying to remember because I know you've been on that Rutherford net.
Yeah, we check in every now and then. And you're right, them little bugs like to eat me up today too.
It's unbelievable. I guess it was because it warmed up and they were all in hiding and decided to go out for a fly, I guess.
I guess. I'll let you get on with it. KE4SYB.
Yeah, that was Larry I just said Rockville. That's what it is. Kilo Echo 4 Sierra Yankee Victor. Great signal as always. Good to have you in there. Who else? South? Anybody?
AR4AZ. Kilo 4 Quebec Papa Romeo.
All right, I got two in there. I got Quebec Papa Romeo, and I'll take Tim in there first. Tim, how are you tonight?
Doing all right, Paul. How about yourself?
Oh, I'm doing dandy. Couldn't get any better, really. As long as I got good health and I got lots of food, I'm happy.
Yeah, you got a point there. Have all the money in the world. Health ain't no good. You can't enjoy it, so it might help you keep yourself around a little longer. But you can't enjoy none of that. And a full belly's always good.
Well, it's like it's an old story that everybody tends to tell, especially those that were in conditions that were meager, either in their youth or when they first got married. And I use that. I think back to when I was first married, and I didn't have any money. I had a minimum wage job. I lived in a little mobile home, had a fairly old used car, but I really didn't have any problems. The more money I got, the more problems I got.
You know, what comes wrong with more stuff, more responsibility. Paul, the Bible even addressed it. He said that didn't want to have so much wealth that not enough that he wanted to steal. It could make it, it could make it meet, I guess, to paraphrase. But for so much that he wouldn't count on, depend on God. So you walk old saying is, ditch on both sides of the road. You go too far either way, you're in a ditch. So you got to kind of keep it down the middle.
Oh yeah, no, it's I think that you're right. Extra things and extra lots of money come with a lot of extra responsibilities to handle it properly. And there's a lot of principles and involvement around that thing. Because the fact is, to sit on excess funds and that you don't, that you can't help others with in certain ways, it's a form of greed, really, and selfishness. So I understand that. Well, very good. That was Tim. How are you? You doing all right otherwise, though?
Yes, doing good. I just come in, got back in from the church just a little bit ago, and I looked up the clock. I said, well, let me turn it on. I thought, well, he's got the lollygag. When I heard you talking, I said, somebody else in Rutherford County there, Rockville. I said, well, it must be a lollygagger, but it sounds like you're still right in the middle of the net. So carry on. Everybody have a good night. And talk to you later. AR4AZ, back to net.
Yeah, you caught us pretty much on the tail end, but that was Kilo Romeo for Alpha Zulu, and that's Tim down in Murfreesboro. And next up was Russell, KR Kilo for Quebec Papa Romeo. You got my note, did you, Russell?
Yes, sir, I did.
Well, very good. You let me know what you needed so we can put some muscle and manpower into that work.
Yes, sir. I listed what I had.
Ah, very good, very good. How you doing otherwise?
I'm doing great. I got an extra day off because I get to drive the wife to the doctor tomorrow, Friday.
Ah, hey, by the way, I went to your address on Google Earth. Have you ever done that on your address?
Yeah, you probably saw a blue Ford Explorer in the driveway.
Well, there's somebody standing next to it too. I presume that was you because I couldn't really make out who it was.
I hope it was
me. That's right. Well, I'm guessing it was, or I wouldn't have brought it up. Yeah, that's interesting though that they caught you out in the front yard. out in the front driveway.
I thought what was interesting is I've heard almost all but four of the people in here. One was, I think, Steve way up north, but I couldn't hear Tim in Murfreesboro.
Oh, that's odd. You couldn't hear Tim in Murfreesboro. He hasn't got the biggest antenna, but I can hear him very well from Murfreesboro. And, oh, that's right. Well, you got your antenna is, I tried to remember where you said you had. Is it in the attic?
It's on the second floor. There's metal ducting for all the air conditioning up there, so I figure I've got a dome over everything.
Yeah, you're going to have some restrictions there, but once you get it outside, you're going to be great. Makes a world of difference, Russell.
I can hope for that. Yesterday's net was terrible. I heard Frank and I heard you when you finally came in, but the rest of them were barely audible above noise level, but not intelligible.
Yeah, if you could swing it, even the less expensive 2-meter dual band antennas, like the ones that Comet and Diamond make, those are really good choices for $100 and something, and that'll make a huge difference over that J-pole. I promise you.
Yeah, I was wondering about that one from Dr. Fong, is it?
Well, that's another J-pole that they're selling. I mean, that's what Dr. Fong's, you can either make it or sell it.
Yeah, but he's modified it to make sure it can properly do 70 centimeters. What I was wondering about.
Well, yeah, and that's a nice inexpensive fix. I'm not saying you shouldn't do it, but I'm telling you that the gain on a J-pole is not even close to a 5/8 wave vertical. And like I said, I'm not going to use mine as an example. If you will look up any of those diamond antennas, just look up diamond vertical, antennas, and just see how different it is from a J-pole. A J-pole often is maybe a 2 dBi gain, and all of the other nice antennas from anywhere from, I don't know how much they are. I know mine was $380, but that's extreme. But I've seen the Diamond and Comets and Hustler for $150 or less for a really decent 5/8 wave antenna.
I got that. I got the Diamond for my car.
Yeah, no, exactly, and that's along the same lines. I mean, is that like a 5/8 wave dual band on the car?
I believe it is.
Yeah, it's amazing what the difference between a J-pole and a 5/8 wave. Again, I don't. The reason I'm telling you that is I hate to have you get the J-pole up there in the air and your results aren't fantastic when you could do so much better with a good vertical antenna, ground plane antenna.
Roger, I'll look at them.
All right, yeah, let me know because we'll do it either way. I mean, if that's what you settle on, I'm sure any of us would be willing to go down there and help. But just let us know when.
I think before the first deep freeze.
Let's hope that's not in the next few days. Very good. That's Russell. He's in, let me think, Laverne, right?
Correct this time.
Yeah, there you go. I was going to start up another village right next to you guys at the town of Shirley, so that way Laverne and Shirley. I know it's a stupid joke. Very good. All right, Russell. Kilo 4, Quebec, Papa Romeo in Laverne. And he's working on an antenna project, so we'll be hopefully getting a couple of volunteers to help out putting it up on the eve here in the next little bit. I don't know when that's going to be. He'll let us know. Who else? Anybody else late check-in? Please come now or from the south.
Kilo India 4, Sierra India Bravo.
Hey, stranger. What's up, Richard?
How you doing down there?
I don't know. If I told you, you'd be envious.
Well, I'm happy to say that this 510 is receiving a lot better than I anticipated. I'm starting to hear a whole lot of people I've never heard before. I don't know if it's just settling in things I haven't heard before about every third net or so.
Well, I think conditions are very good tonight. Maybe that's part of the issue.
Yeah, I could make out what John was saying out of Bellevue. I know he can't hear me because I don't have the power he does, but I'm able to hear him better every time on every other net anyway.
Yeah, well, maybe then your antenna and feed line, like beef, they age and they get better, or wine.
I guess. I don't know what it seems like anyway. But at any rate, everybody sounds good that I could hear, and I'm getting fewer and fewer that I can't hear. But did we have breakfast this Saturday? I think so.
You must have missed the front end of the net. That's the first thing I mentioned was breakfast Saturday morning.
Yeah, I got in here a little bit behind the start.
All right, no problem. Well, I hope you'll be there. I'm going to be there.
Yeah, I'm going to try to do everything I can. But y'all sounding good down there. And 73 to everybody on the net that can hear this week's station.
Well, it's not so weak. You're doing pretty good there, Richard. That's Richard over West of Lebanon. That's Kilo India 4, Sierra India Bravo. Anybody else late check-ins or any place, anywhere, please come in.
W9BOQ. 54 scale, but you are now.
Say that, Richard, again, Richard?
I said, you didn't used to hit me full scale, but you are now.
Oh, cool. Glad to hear it. You were 40 over on that last transmission.
I'm trying to get out of this hole.
Well, you remember what I said about holes. All right, Dennis, I heard you in there. You were just waiting to be last, were you?
Yeah. Well, I was here. I missed the north, though, by one call.
Yeah, I heard you jump in there about you had to jump in on the signal problems. I'm wondering if it's not my my push to talk switch here. Maybe.
I don't see how it could because I can still hear you.
Okay, then it's not the switch. Very good. That was the troubleshooting of the night. So how you doing, Dennis?
Well, I'm tired. I didn't get home till 2 a.m. and I got up at 6. So I am really beat.
Yep, I've had whole weeks like that.
But I had a cup of coffee and it was just kicking in when the net started. And I fixed the outdoor light that I got to put up tomorrow, and I'm probably going to go to bed here in a minute.
Well, don't let me hold you up. Sounds like you were going to get back to me when you talked to me from the car earlier in the night. How am I scaling on your machine now?
Oh, yeah, full. I was just concerned that you weren't that loud on my mobile. It was like 3 of 10. There's no S meter, but you were like 3 of 10, and I would have thought it would have been more than that.
Well, again, you're in a car and a much less effective antenna than you have up there in the barn.
Right. Well, anyway, the reason I didn't come back is my wife grabbed me and said, we're eating now. So I never did make it back to the shack till about 7:30.
Yeah, we know who the boss is.
Absolutely.
Yeah, very good. All right, you have a good night. Hold on one second. Good night, dear. Yeah, you may have heard me say that. My wife will say, I said, why didn't you tell me about whatever happened in the evening? She goes, because you were on the radio talking to somebody. I go, listen, you're more important than anybody I talk to on the radio. Anybody. So don't get into that mode that you can't interrupt me about anything.
There you go. All right, well, back to that. Thank you for doing everything here, Paul. W9BOQ.
Yeah, very good. That was Dennis, Whiskey 4, Bravo, Oscar, Quebec, and he's in Castellian Springs. That was number 27, by the way. Check in number 27, even though Carl checked in a couple times. So anybody else, any late check-ins, lollygaggers, lurkers, sandbaggers, scanner listeners, SDR donglers, preppers, and end-time survivors? Please come in.
I'll go for 28.
But you already checked in.
So the wifey thing, man, I'm trying to get my family involved here. I'm a prepper. You would never know it if you saw me. In fact, you already know me. But yeah, so by the way, great job. Kudos. I feel the energy in the conversation. I think she's coming home somewhere to reframe my comments, but you're doing good. So there was something I was going to say.
I don't know. I'll fill in the blanks if you want me to.
Go for it.
No, it's just true. I mean, I don't ever want my spouse, who I love very much, to think that you guys are more important than she is. It sounds ridiculous, doesn't it?
You got more than me? How many you up to?
This is my third and last.
Okay. Well, you're gonna live a long life. Third and last. Okay. So tell the people how many. So you were 18. I've been listening. You were 18. That lasted what? 3 months?
Now, the one I was married to the first time, it lasted. I was actually not 18. I was 20. I got married, after high school. And let's see, I got divorced somewhere in it was about 7 years, I think, and that was crazy. That was a mess. And again, just married the wrong woman.
I've been asking myself that question. It's all of y'all people. Is it the wrong woman, or do I have an opportunity to grow and learn about myself?
Oh no, it's actually both. You have to accommodate. Each person must accommodate in some way, and they say marriage is 50-50, but it's really 100-100. You can't just go halfway.
You were back to that. By the way, I got a foot switch now. But yeah, you're right. As long as we do what we need to do as gentlemen and men, you know what we do. We build. You know what we do.
Well, again, it takes a lot of maturity, I think, and a lot of dedication. Because a lot of people get frustrated early in a marriage, or even get frustrated late in a marriage because they think things aren't going well, and you go, well, trust me, divorce is much worse than the situation you got right now.
I appreciate your service, and my daddy tried to get me to do it, and maybe I'm spoiled. I'm broke in I don't know what crooked deck of cards, but I do enjoy getting on here, and I listen to all kinds of things, all kinds of people, and I learn stuff because if you look at media, if you look at media, I don't want to call nobody out, Jay-Z, Beyonce, who else, Trump. I mean, by the way, I voted for Trump. I shouldn't have said that, but I did. You know why? Because I understand he's going to take us forward. Now, a lot of people may not see it the way I see it from where I come from, but what he did, he cracked the egg.
Yeah, well, I think a lot of people that voted for him didn't like him, but he was the alternative that worked for them because he was an outsider who said he was going to get some things done, and all we hear is talk from politicians, and he wasn't just all talk.
Absolutely. And you know what? If you take a look back, right? I don't know what happened in Kentucky. I think the swing vote was up in Cincinnati. I'm from Dayton, Ohio, right? Ham radio. I'm from Dayton, Ohio. But if you think about it, what happened, in my opinion, right? I think what happened was, I think what happened is that everybody got to thinking about it, and so we're still 50-50, 49. And by the way, this goes into algorithm with my conspiracy brother. I'm gonna do better, y'all. But seriously, it's a very scary place, but it's not that bad. It's written. I was raised Catholic, and I'm not sure it's the right thing or the wrong thing, but I do believe myself.
Oh, I got you. Well, listen, let me finish up the net here, Carl, and we'll go from there. We can talk in a minute. I just need to drag it out on the YouTube video. We can sound all our opinions sound out. I'll be kicked off of the internet.
Roger, KK4UPS, stand by.
All right, very good. This K4PEW. Any other check-ins, please come now before we close her down. All righty, we're closing her down. This is K4PEW at the Mount Juliet Simplex Radio Net. We had 27 check-ins, and it was a good night again. We're at 27. That's two nets in a row with 27, so we're doing something right or wrong, but I hope everybody enjoyed the net. I know I do. This is K4PEW closing her down.
K4PEW.